Have you ever thought about what it would be like to move into a nursing home? Maybe you've heard friends or family talk about it, or perhaps you've considered it for yourself. For many seniors, the idea of moving into a nursing home can feel like a safe and practical solution, especially when health concerns or daily challenges start to pile up. But let me tell you something. As someone who's been there, I regret making that decision more than almost anything else I've done in my later years. And if I could go back and do things differently, I absolutely would. Today, I want to share my story with you, not to scare you, but to help you think carefully about this decision if it ever comes your way. Moving into a nursing home isn't just about having a roof over your head or someone to take care of you. It's a life-changing choice that affects your independence, your relationships, and even your sense of self. In this video, we'll talk about why I regret moving into the nursing home and what you can do to avoid making the same mistake. Whether you're considering this option for yourself or helping a loved one decide, these insights will give you a clearer picture of what to expect and how to explore alternatives that might work better for you. Let's start by talking about one of the hardest parts of moving into a nursing home: losing your independence. When I first moved in, I told myself it was just temporary, that I'd get back on my feet soon enough and regain control of my life. But the truth is, once you're in that environment, it's easy to fall into a pattern where others make decisions for you. From what time you wake up to what you eat for meals, so much of your day becomes dictated by schedules and routines that aren't always designed with individual preferences in mind. Sure, they say it's for safety and convenience, but after a while, it starts to feel like you're living someone else's life instead of your own. Take my mornings, for example. Before moving into the nursing home, I loved waking up early, brewing a cup of coffee, and sitting by the window to watch the sunrise. It was my quiet time, a chance to reflect, plan my day, and simply enjoy being alive. But once I moved in, those peaceful mornings disappeared. Instead, staff would come knocking at 7 a.m., ready to help me get dressed and prepare for breakfast. At first, I tried to explain that I preferred starting my day later, but eventually I stopped bothering. What was the point? It felt like no one really cared about what I wanted anyway. Losing those little freedoms might not seem like a big deal at first glance, but over time it adds up. You begin to feel less like yourself and more like just another resident. Worst part? There's often very little you can do to change it. So if you value your independence, even in small ways, it's worth exploring other options before committing to a nursing home. Maybe it's hiring in-home care, downsizing to a senior-friendly apartment, or leaning on family and friends for support. Whatever path you choose, keeping some level of autonomy can make all the difference in maintaining your dignity and happiness. Now let's talk about another challenge I faced: the loss of personal connections. One of the reasons people move into nursing homes is the promise of community, a place where you'll meet new friends and stay socially engaged. And while it's true that some residents form meaningful bonds, the reality is often far less ideal. Many of the people around you may have cognitive impairments, physical limitations, or hearing difficulties that make conversation difficult. Others might keep to themselves, preferring solitude over interaction. As a result, loneliness can creep in faster than you'd expect. For me, this hit especially hard because I'd always been someone who thrived on connection. I loved hosting dinners, attending community events, and chatting with neighbors. Suddenly, I found myself surrounded by strangers who didn't share my interests, or worse, weren't able to engage at all. Even the activities organized by the nursing home felt impersonal and forced. Bingo games and craft sessions are fine, but they're not substitutes for deep, authentic relationships. Over time, I started feeling isolated, like I'd lost touch with the vibrant social life I once cherished. If you're worried about staying connected as you age, there are ways to nurture those relationships without giving up your current lifestyle. Technology has made it easier than ever to stay in touch with loved ones through video calls, messaging apps, and social media. Local senior centers and clubs also offer opportunities to meet people who share your passions, whether it's gardening, reading, or playing cards. By staying active in your community, You can build a network of support that keeps loneliness at bay, without sacrificing your freedom. As we continue exploring why moving into a nursing home wasn't the right choice, for me, let's turn our attention to another major factor, the financial burden. While cost might not be the first thing on your mind when considering a nursing home, trust me, it's something you need to think about carefully. These facilities are expensive, and unless you've planned ahead financially, the bills can quickly add up. Let's dive into how this aspect impacted my experience and what you can do to protect yourself from similar surprises. Let's talk about the financial side of moving into a nursing home, a topic that's often overlooked until it's too late. When I first considered this option, I assumed my savings and insurance would cover most of the costs. But what I didn't realize was how quickly those expenses could spiral out of control. Between monthly fees, additional charges for specialized care, and unexpected medical bills, the financial strain became overwhelming. It wasn't just about the numbers on paper, it was the constant worry of whether I'd have enough to sustain myself in the long run. Take my situation, for example. Within the first year, I had already dipped into savings I had set aside for emergencies. The nursing home promised all-inclusive care, but there were always extras, medications, therapies, even special dietary requests that added up faster than I anticipated. And while Medicaid eventually stepped in to help, qualifying for assistance meant spending down nearly all of my assets. By the time I left, I felt like I'd given away years of hard-earned financial security for a lifestyle that never truly felt worth it. If you're thinking about a nursing home, take the time to sit down with a financial advisor or trusted family member to understand the full scope of the costs involved. Explore alternatives, like in-home care services, which can be more affordable and tailored to your needs. Many communities also offer subsidized senior housing options that provide a balance of independence and support without breaking the bank. The key is to plan ahead so you're not blindsided by hidden fees or long-term commitments that jeopardize your financial well-being. Now let's shift gears and talk about another challenge I faced: the lack of personalized care. On paper, nursing homes sound ideal. They offer round-the-clock assistance, access to medical professionals, and structured routines designed to keep residents safe. But here's the reality. Staff members are often stretched thin, juggling dozens of residents at once. As a result, the care you receive may feel rushed, impersonal, or even inadequate at times. Consider my experience with medication management. At first, I appreciated having someone remind me when it was time to take my pills. But over time, I noticed mistakes happening, wrong dosages, missed doses, or medications being handed to me without explanation. When I tried to address these issues, I was met with indifference or promises that things would improve. Unfortunately, they rarely did. It wasn't that the staff didn't care. They simply didn't have the resources or time to give each resident the attention they deserved. Personalized care matters more than you might think, especially as you age. Whether it's managing chronic conditions, addressing mobility challenges, or simply ensuring your preferences are respected, the quality of care directly impacts your overall well-being. If you're concerned about losing that level of individualized attention, consider hiring private caregivers who can provide one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. These professionals can tailor their services to your specific needs, offering everything from meal preparation and housekeeping to companionship and medical assistance. While it may require some upfront investment, the peace of mind is often worth every penny. As we continue exploring why moving into a nursing home wasn't the right choice for me, let's talk about another factor that weighed heavily on my decision to leave: the emotional toll it took on my mental health. Living in an institutional setting can feel isolating and disempowering, no matter how well-intentioned the staff may be. Over time, I began to notice a shift in my mindset. I went from feeling hopeful about receiving care to feeling trapped and defeated. The lack of privacy, limited opportunities for personal growth, and constant reminders of aging started chipping away at my confidence and joy. For many seniors, mental health is just as important as physical health, yet it's often overlooked in nursing home environments. Activities like bingo nights or movie screenings are nice distractions, but they don't address deeper emotional needs like purpose, creativity, or connection. I found myself longing for the hobbies and passions I used to pursue: painting, gardening, volunteering. But there was little room for those interests in the rigid schedule of the nursing home. Instead, days blurred together in monotony, leaving me feeling stagnant and uninspired. If you're worried about maintaining your mental well-being as you age, focus on creating a lifestyle that nurtures your spirit. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, engage in activities that bring you joy, and seek out environments where you feel valued and respected. For some, this might mean staying in their own home with part-time assistance. For others, it could involve joining a vibrant retirement community that prioritizes independence and enrichment. Whatever path you choose, prioritize your emotional health. It's the foundation of a fulfilling life, no matter your age. Now that we've covered the financial burden, the lack of personalized care, and the emotional impact, let's turn our attention to one final piece of the puzzle: rediscovering independence after leaving a nursing home. Making the transition back to a more autonomous lifestyle isn't easy, but it's possible and incredibly rewarding. Let's explore how small steps toward reclaiming your freedom can lead to big changes in your happiness and quality of life. Now let's talk about reclaiming independence after leaving a nursing home, a decision that changed my life in ways I never expected. When I finally made the choice to move back into my own space, I was nervous. Could I handle daily tasks on my own? Would I feel safe and secure? These questions weighed heavily on my mind, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Rediscovering my independence didn't happen overnight. It took patience, effort, and a willingness to adapt, but every step forward felt like a victory. One of the first things I did was simplify my living environment to make it safer and more manageable. I installed grab bars in the bathroom, added non-slip mats to areas prone to spills, and rearranged furniture to create clear pathways. These small changes made a huge difference in reducing risks and giving me peace of mind. I also invested in technology that supported my independence, things like a medical alert system, voice-activated devices for reminders, and even smart appliances that helped with meal prep. By taking control of my surroundings, I started feeling more confident in my ability to live independently again. Another crucial part of this journey was leaning on community resources and support systems. Moving out of the nursing home didn't mean going it alone. Instead, I surrounded myself with people who could help when needed. For example, I hired a part-time caregiver to assist with chores and errands, joined a local senior center to stay socially engaged, and connected with neighbors who checked in on me regularly. Building this network allowed me to maintain my autonomy while knowing I had backup if something went wrong. It reminded me that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a way to preserve your independence for the long haul. As I settled back into my routine, I realized how much I'd missed the little joys of everyday life. Cooking my favorite meals, tending to my garden, and decorating my home exactly the way I liked brought back a sense of purpose and fulfillment I hadn't felt in years. Even simple pleasures, like deciding what time to wake up or choosing which book to read next, felt monumental because they were mine to decide. Those moments reminded me that independence isn't just about doing things yourself. It's about having the freedom to shape your life according to your values and preferences. Now that we've covered all these aspects, from losing independence and personal connections to facing financial strain and emotional challenges, I want to leave you with a message of hope. Moving into a nursing home might seem like the only option at times, but it's not the only path forward. There are alternatives that allow you to age gracefully while staying true to who you are. Whether it's modifying your home, exploring in-home care services, or finding creative ways to stay active and connected, the possibilities are endless if you're willing to explore them. If you're currently considering a nursing home or helping a loved one make that decision, take a moment to reflect on what truly matters most: your independence, relationships, finances, and overall happiness. Talk openly with family members, consult professionals, and weigh the pros and cons carefully before committing. Remember, this is your life, and you deserve to live it in a way that feels authentic and fulfilling. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone close to you experienced life in a nursing home? What lessons did you learn? Or what advice would you give to others facing similar decisions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm sure other viewers will benefit from hearing your story. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to provide practical advice and inspiration to help you navigate the ups and downs of aging with confidence and grace. Here's to embracing independence, nurturing meaningful connections, and creating a life filled with purpose and joy at any age. Thank you for joining me today, and remember, no matter where you are in your journey, there's always room to grow, adapt, and thrive. Until next time, take care and keep shining.